You know, we're all starting to really lean on these powerful AI assistants in our lives. They help with our emails, our schedules, pretty much everything. We're actually learning to trust them. But here's the thing. Right under the surface of all that convenience, there's a new, almost invisible threat that's designed to turn that very trust against us. Let's get into it. So just ask yourself this. What if the AI you rely on every single day could be given secret orders? Instructions you didn't write that you can't even see. Instructions that force it to do things you'd never want it to do. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi movie plot. This is a new cybersecurity reality, and it's happening right now. So you might be wondering, how could this possibly work? Well, check out this real-world example. An attacker sends you a simple calendar invite, and you don't even have to click on it or accept it. Later on, you ask your AI assistant a totally normal question, something like, hey, what's my schedule look like today? The AI, trying to be helpful, scans your calendar. But when it does, it also reads these hidden, malicious instructions that were buried in that invite. And then bam, following those secret orders, it connects to your smart home and opens all your windows. No clicks, no pop-ups, no warnings. Just a simple question and a hijacked assistant.
All right, so how on earth can an AI be manipulated just like that? To really get it, we need to pop the hood and look at the core mechanism that makes these attacks possible. Your AI's hidden instructions.
This whole technique is called Indirect Prompt Injection, and it's super sneaky because it doesn't attack the AI's code like a traditional virus. Nope, it targets the AI's logic. An attacker just plants malicious instructions inside a document, an email, or a website, basically any piece of data they know the AI is eventually going to read. So when the AI processes that data to help you, it literally can't tell the difference between your real request and the attacker's hidden command. It just sees an instruction, and it follows it.
And this is where it gets really dangerous, especially in systems that use something called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG. This analogy really explains it perfectly. Think of your AI as a super helpful research assistant. When you ask it a question, RAG is the system that lets it sprint over to your personal library. That's your emails, your documents, your calendar, to find the right info to give you a great answer. But what happens if an attacker has already snuck in and slipped a poisoned note into one of those books? Well, your assistant, just trying to do its job, picks up the note, reads the malicious instructions, and carries them out, thinking it's all just part of what you wanted.
Okay, now let's see how this plays out in a big corporate setting. Researchers found this attack they called GeminiJack, which targets Google's enterprise AI. Here's how the heist goes down. First, the attacker poisons the well, hiding malicious commands in a shared Google Doc. Second, an employee does something completely normal, just a routine search with the AI. Third, the AI's RAG system goes and fetches that poisoned document and, executes the hidden instructions. And finally, and this is the scary part, the AI sends sensitive company data straight to the attacker's server, bypassing all the traditional security checks. So, you see, this isn't just about one little bug in the system. What we're actually witnessing here is the start of a whole new AI arms race. The speed, the scale, and the very nature of cyber warfare, it's all being fundamentally transformed. These zero-click attacks, where your device gets compromised without you doing a single thing, they aren't exactly new. We've seen them for years, right? From the notorious Pegasus spyware that got in through an iMessage to hacks using missed WhatsApp calls. But AI changes the entire game. We're now seeing the first generative AI worms, like this concept called Morris 2, which are built to spread all by themselves through AI systems. This is the next evolution in automated, invisible attacks. And here's the real gut punch. Just look at how dramatically AI shifts the balance of power. A human hacker, they might take days, even weeks, to create a working exploit. They work on a human scale. But an offensive AI, it can find and weaponize a vulnerability in minutes. It doesn't just target one person. It can unleash an automated swarm, attacking thousands or even millions of systems at once. And if you think this is all just theory, think again. In one absolutely startling study, researchers gave a GPT-4-based AI agent nothing but the public descriptions of known security flaws. The AI, on its own, autonomously developed a working exploit for 87% of them. To put that in perspective, previous automated tools had a success rate of 0.
This quote from the TimeTrex report just captures the danger perfectly. That gap in time between when a vulnerability is found and when a patch is ready, that's called the exploit window. It's the precious time that defenders have to react. Well, AI is threatening to collapse that window from weeks or days down to just minutes. which makes our traditional way of doing security almost impossible. So, if the bad guys are now operating at machine speed, how in the world do we keep up? Well, this leads us to what a lot of experts believe is the only real path forward, a zero-trust future.
The fundamental problem is that our old security models are built on trust. It's like building a castle with a big wall and a moat, and then just assuming anyone already inside the walls is friendly. But that model was never, ever designed for a world where your own trusted assistant secretly becomes a spy, stealing your data from the inside out.
So, the answer is a total shift in thinking to something called a zero-trust architecture. The philosophy is really simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Never trust, always verify. In a zero-trust world, there's no such thing as inside or outside the network. Every single request, doesn't matter if it's from a person down the hall or an AI agent in the cloud, is treated as a potential threat. It has to be verified before it gets access to anything, period. So, what does this actually look like in the real world? It means we need a whole new defensive playbook. I mean, yeah, patching systems is still critical, but now we need layers specifically for AI. Things like filtering and cleaning data before it ever reaches the AI model. It means giving AI agents the absolute minimum level of access they need to do their job, and nothing more. It means walling off critical systems from everything else. And it means using our own AIs to hunt for weird behavior. And maybe the most important piece? Constantly testing our own defenses, using AI to find our weaknesses before the attackers do. This all kind of brings us to a final, much bigger question. The very things that make these AI agents so powerful and so useful, their autonomy, their access to all our data, are the exact same things that make them so incredibly dangerous. It's creating what you could call a trust tax on automation. As we weave these systems deeper and deeper into every corner of our lives, we are being forced, whether we like it or not, to fundamentally rethink what trust even means in our digital world. Thanks for watching.